Henry, once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. We're a full-service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products. We have perhaps the largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent as well. Some of the things that separate our company from the other companies are going to be the huge amount of educational information, whether it's going to be the video library or the articles or the blog sites or podcasts. We want to make sure that not only can you see and learn about surveillance and security products, but also we want to make sure that you can also watch the videos and read the articles and understand educational information, things that have to do with protecting yourself, protecting your privacy, figuring out whether or not there's too many EMFs or microwaves or certain things in and about your home, neighborhood, etc. Just a lot of educational information. We have probably more than any other company out there. And I think the lifetime guarantees and warranties and the 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support, that's unparalleled, and no one else wants to offer that. I'll try to maintain that as long as possible, as long as I can. Which brings us to the reason why we're making this particular podcast this morning. There's a dilemma in the industry. The retail industry overall has a dilemma in that retailers want to offer very lenient retail or return policies. So, LL Bean, Amazon, Best Buy, Victoria's Secret, Nordstrom Rack, all these companies really have had very lenient retail policies for a long time. But unfortunately, this is coming back to haunt a lot of retailers. So what happens is people abuse these privileges offered by the retailers. Just like anything else, sometimes you have good customers and sometimes you have customers who just have the worst intentions imaginable. And they want to return things and they want to take advantage. So what's happening right now is a lot of customers are indeed taking advantage of these lenient return policies. And as I mentioned before, in one of the other podcasts, there's a company called the Retail Equation based in Irvine, California. They are indeed working with a lot of retailers and making sure that they flag these accounts. So now customers who are abusing the retail policies of these different companies, they're getting their accounts flagged, and when they subsequently go back into those stores to return things, a retail clerk asks for the ID, compares this person with this information in a database, and if it looks like you've been abusing your retail privileges, then your purchases get flagged. So just make sure you guys understand that you could be barred from being able to go into a store for like a 12-month period or so if you get flagged in this database, and which is good because as I've been complaining, a lot of you know that I have, because a lot of our own customers are very abusive, serial credit card abusers. And unfortunately, see, MasterCard and Visa and American Express and those guys, they promote this type of abusive behavior by not questioning or doing anything about these abusive customers. In other words, customers, as long as the customers are using those credit cards, the credit card issuers are happy. MasterCard is happy. Visa is happy. American Express and Discover, they're all happy. But when it comes to the merchant's point of view, the retailer, we incur a lot of charges, or we incur a lot of overhead. We incur a lot of time and effort put it that we have to put into trying to defend ourselves against these abusive customers. So this is becoming an issue now, a major issue, to the point where finally someone in the retail industry is stepping up and saying, look, if MasterCard and Visa and the credit card issuers and even the banks, if they're not going to do anything, we'll help you guys out. When those customers go back into your stores, long as they're in our database, we can flag them, we can prevent them from making any subsequent purchases from you. And pretty soon they're going to have fewer and fewer choices of retailers that they can go into and abuse those credit cards. I think a lot of retailers are going to be sharing this database of information. So if you go into Best Buy and you're flagged as an abusive customer, that means you'll probably end up going into Victoria's Secret or Amazon or somewhere else, and they'll have you also in the same database, and those databases hopefully will be connected, so it can be determined very easily that you're the same person and you have the same intentions more than likely, and you need to figure out how to be more responsible, particularly during this probationary period where you can't buy anything at all from certain retailers. So again, we have a major problem in the retail industry with customers who they know they don't have the money, they know they don't really want the product to keep it. They just want to try out the camera while they're on vacation. They want to try on the clothes and play with and walk around in the shoes and wear the jackets, whatever, for a week or 2 or 3 or whatever, and then return them. Then also, customers are also committing fraud, literally committing fraud in the stores. They do what's known as wardrobing. Wardrobing means that you take a wardrobe, take it into the dressing room, put certain things on, put certain things in your shopping cart or your bags, and you return a number of things that you actually just got off the shelf in the same store. So even before you leave the store, you're already going back to the cash register trying to get a refund on certain things that you never even paid for. Okay? So there's a lot of scams, a lot of fraud, a lot of credit card abuse, and this needs to be handled. This is why I'm a big proponent of Bitcoin. For instance, particularly I'm going to incorporate that into my business to the point where that's going to be the primary, if not the exclusive form of payment, because there won't be any reversing of charges. I won't have to be bothered by Wells Fargo, American Express, Discover, MasterCard, Visa. I won't have to be bothered with chargeback notices or anything like that, because Bitcoin transactions are like cash. You can't reverse them. You can't go to someone and say, look, it's the wrong phase of the moon. It's the wrong, that the tides are too high in the ocean, or whatever stupid excuse that customers want to give to return things. Okay, I've heard everything imaginable within the last 20 years. So, again, there's so much abuse going on, and a lot of us retailers or merchants are sick and tired of it, and finally think the tide is turning, and consumers are going to be held accountable to making sure that they respect the idea that they're able to make transactions and use credit cards or whatever. With my company, the harsh reality is going to be we're not going to even bother with credit cards over the long term. We're going to change completely the way transactions are made. There'll be cash. There'll be cash. There'll be money orders, cashier's checks, or Bitcoin, because wire transfers. Bitcoin, Litecoin, other cryptocurrencies, but definitely not credit cards. So anyway, I'm going to associate this podcast with a playlist where various customers are complaining, and they sound ridiculous in terms of why they are not allowed to continually return things and get away with fraud and deceit and deception and everything else inside the stores. Okay, online or offline, it doesn't matter. The same thing is occurring. Even Amazon has changed their policy. They have the most liberal return policy, including the LL Bean and some others, but things are changing. So finally, we're bringing some sense of responsibility and common sense into the retail industry. So anyway, I just want to make this podcast and let you guys know I finally put together a playlist of customers who are going through this experience and letting you know from different perspectives what it looks like to have your customers held responsible, and mainly just to let you guys know that the retail equation based out of Irvine, California, is one of the companies that are creating a national database of abusive return customers, product return people. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and don't forget to patronize my site. Make sure you use the right form of payment, because I don't want to have to tell you that I'm not interested in doing business with you. I'd rather tell you that everything is fine and we're going to ship your product or something. So you probably should use a check, a money order, maybe Bitcoin or a wire transfer or something like that. That way I don't have to be bothered with dealing with this stupid credit card industry. You guys have a great day, and talk to you later. Bye.